He hadn't planned on staying late that night. The daycare had called twice already, reminding him that pickup after 8 meant extra fees he really couldn't afford. His phone buzzed again as he stood outside the hotel ballroom, jacket folded over his arm, wondering why he'd even agreed to come. But his boss had insisted, company celebration, important clients, appearances mattered. So he stayed. By 10 o'clock, the party had shifted from polite networking to something messier. Laughter grew louder, ties loosened, glasses refilled without question. He kept to the edge of the room, watching the clock, thinking about his daughter already asleep with her stuffed rabbit tucked under her chin. That was when he noticed her. She stood near the bar, heels in hand, balance unsteady, eyes unfocused in a way that immediately set off alarms in his head. She was usually composed, sharp suits, sharper mind, never a hair out of place. Tonight, that image was gone. "Are you okay?" he asked, stepping closer. She looked at him as if it took effort to recognize his face. Then she laughed softly, the sound brittle. "I'm fine. Just celebrating too hard, apparently." He glanced around. No one else seemed to be paying attention. People assumed she was untouchable, successful, confident, in control. But he saw the way her hand trembled when she reached for the bar. "You shouldn't drive," he said gently. She waved him off. "I won't. I ordered a car." But when the valet approached and spoke quietly to her, confusion crossed her face. She fumbled for her phone, then stopped, blinking hard. "I think I canceled it," she murmured, embarrassed. He didn't hesitate. "Let me help." She frowned slightly. "You don't have to." "I know," he said. "But I can." Outside, the night air was cold and sharp. She swayed as they walked, and he instinctively slowed his pace to match hers. He guided her to a bench near the entrance, keeping a respectful distance but staying close enough to steady her if needed. "Why are you being so nice?" she asked suddenly. He shrugged. "Because you're a person." That seemed to surprise her more than anything. He ordered her water, waited until her breathing steadied, then called a ride himself. When it arrived, he gave the driver clear instructions and watched until the car disappeared down the street. Only then did he realize how late it was. He rushed to the daycare, apologizing repeatedly, heart pounding with guilt. By the time he got home, exhaustion pressed down on him like a weight. He tucked his daughter back into bed, kissed her forehead, and told himself the night was over. He was wrong. The next morning, the office buzzed with its usual quiet energy. He arrived early, as always, coffee in hand, ready to disappear into his work. He expected nothing to come of the night before. People like her forgot things like that. Or pretended to. She didn't. At exactly 9:30, his phone rang. "Can you come to my office?" her assistant asked. Now, his stomach dropped. He straightened his jacket, replaying the night in his head. Had he overstepped? Had he done something wrong? He knocked once, then entered. She stood by the window, daylight illuminating her face. She looked different, rested, composed, back in control. She turned as he stepped in. "Close the door," she said. He did. For a moment, she said nothing. Then she took a breath. "Thank you," she said simply. He blinked. For last night. For not taking advantage. For not ignoring the situation. For treating me like a human being when I wasn't at my best. He shifted uncomfortably. It was the right thing to do. She studied him. Most people say that. Few actually do it. She gestured for him to sit. "Tell me about your daughter." The question caught him off guard. "My daughter. Yes. You left in a hurry. I remember you saying something about daycare." He hesitated, then answered. He didn't embellish. He didn't complain. He just told the truth, about being a single dad, about balancing work and parenthood, about trying to do right by both. She listened. Really listened. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" she asked. He shrugged. "You never asked." Silence filled the room. By the end of the conversation, nothing dramatic had happened. No promotions. No speeches. Just a quiet understanding. But things changed after that. She noticed his work more. Asked his opinion in meetings. Adjusted schedules without making a show of it. When he had to leave early for a school event, she nodded and said, "Go." That matters. He didn't expect loyalty from her. But he earned respect. Weeks passed. Then months. One afternoon, his daughter's school called. Emergency, minor but urgent. He rushed out, apologizing as he went. Later that evening, as he sat beside his daughter's bed, his phone buzzed. A message from his boss. Is she okay? He stared at the screen for a long moment before replying. She will be. Thank you for asking. The next day, there was a small envelope on his desk. Inside was a note, handwritten. I didn't forget what you did. And I won't pretend to. He folded it carefully and slipped it into his wallet. Because sometimes, doing the right thing doesn't change the world overnight. But it changes something just as important, how people see each other.